Hey kids, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. So today I would like to share with you a little predicament that I've got myself in. It's actually not so bad. It's really not so bad. But I have this condition where I go to Target and I cannot leave the store without buying at least one book. It's bad. And not only am I doing this at Target, but I have found myself ordering books online. Mind you, I haven't read any of these books yet. I'm still reading The Keeper's Vow and Devil in the White City. I'm reading them at the same time because I, do that. They're really good, by the way. You can be looking forward to some reviews on those books once I'm finished. Anyway, I have literally a pile of books that I have either bought or gotten for Christmas. I got a couple of them for Christmas. I actually got 2 of them gifted to me just randomly by a very good friend of mine named Jen. So I kind of want to share my to-be-read pile because it's huge. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, a lot of these books, they've already been read, they've already been reviewed. I don't care. I'm behind the times. I get it. Anyway, so I want to share all of my books with you. I've got quite the variation. I'm actually really excited about literally all of them, and I kind of want to read all of them at the same time. Actually, what I want to do is just place my hand on the top of the book and have it, like I already read it. I already know what happens. So here we go. Book number 1. I think everybody has heard about this book. Pretty much everybody may have even read this book already. We've got The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. This sat on the New York Times bestseller list for weeks. It was bumped off for, what was it, like 27 hours or 23 hours, something like that. And then put right back on the bestseller list because that's apparently where it belonged. I believe it. I know the synopsis of it. It's about a young black girl who witnesses the shooting of her childhood friend, if I'm not mistaken, by a white cop. Yes, her childhood best friend by a white cop. I got The Witches by Stacy Schiff. This is the book that I am going to be reading because I like the subject matter and also for research for the second book to the Sacred Coven series. So not The Eldest Witch, but the book that follows after The Eldest Witch. I don't know what it's called yet, so don't ask. But anyway, yeah, this is actually, if I'm not mistaken, this is either historical fiction or it is nonfiction. I have a feeling that this is nonfiction. At least that's what I thought when I picked it up. But I think it focuses on 2 women, a aunt and a niece, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. The next book that I'm going to be reading, this actually came recommended, not specifically to me, just recommended in general to his followers from Norbert Leo Butts on his Instagram page. He recommended on his Instagram Stoner by John Williams, and it seemed really, really interesting. This is another one I got at Target. It is Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I have never read Colleen Hoover. I know that her book Slammed got a lot of flack when it came out. I have not read Slammed, but from what I have heard about it, it probably deserves all the flack that it got. But I don't know. I saw that it was by Colleen Hoover, and I said, you know what, let me read the synopsis and check it out. The Voss family is anything but normal. They live in a repurposed church, newly baptized Dollar Voss. The once cancer-stricken mother lives in the basement. The father is married to the mother's former nurse, weird. The little half-brother isn't allowed to do or eat anything fun, and the eldest siblings are irritatingly perfect. Then there's Merit. I don't know, it seemed intriguing, the plotline. And I'm very interested to see how Colleen Hoover writes. The next one I have is also a Target run. It is The List by Siobhan Vivian. Siobhan Vivian? I'm gonna go with Siobhan Vivian. I feel like that, I don't know. I am very, very sorry if that is not how you pronounce it. But anyway, again, saw it at Target, read the synopsis, found it interesting. This is something that I think so many people can relate to just because it happens in one form or another to, I think, everybody at some point in their lives, mostly in high school. But it happens every year before homecoming. The list is posted all over school. 2 girls are picked from each grade. One is named the prettiest, one the ugliest. The girls who aren't picked are quickly forgotten. The girls who are become the center of attention, and each reacts differently to the experience. It just seems like this is something everyone can relate to. Maybe not necessarily being on a list, but everyone's experienced that at some point. Not specifically being on a list, just, the whole, oh, who's, the prettiest and who's the ugliest, blah, blah, all that crap that happens in high school. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Am I right? Yeah. Anyway, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this book. Then I've got Expelled by James Patterson and Emily Raymond. And can I just say that I love his name is bold and hers is not. It's like Expelled by James Patterson and Emily Raymond. Anyway, this one actually reminded me a little bit of One of Us is Lying. Just in terms of the high school mystery thriller, kind of vibe that I got from One of Us is Lying. So I went ahead and picked this up. I've actually never read James Patterson. I've heard the name, but I've never read him at all. So I'm very excited to be reading this one. These next 2 I actually got from a friend of mine who just gifted them to me just because. The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr, and then The Courtroom Explained Through the Trials of the Century. So we'll go with this one first. This is a fiction novel. I haven't really heard very much about this. I gotta be honest. I've seen a couple of people add it on either their Read Piles or their, wrap-ups. I don't really know what that is. I gotta be honest. Their wrap-ups, I guess, like wrap up, let's wrap up what I did this week, month, whatever. But it just seemed really interesting. It's about a girl. Let's see, her mind resets itself several times a day, and since the age of 10, when the tumor that was removed from Flora's brain took with it her abilities to make new memories. That is until she kisses Drake, her best friend's boyfriend, classy, the night before he leaves town. Convenient. Anyway, this seems really, really interesting. It's, losing memories and getting them back in fragments and FBI and like mystery thriller, whodunit, what's going on, where am I, who am I, or am I really here kind of thing. So very excited to be starting this one. And then the Courtroom Explained, I just have a weird interest in true crime. I've always been interested in true crime ever since I can remember, ever since I was, early teens. So this is obviously nonfiction, and I'm super excited to get into this. I got for Christmas from my mom. She went to the Emily Dickinson house recently with her class and got me a book of her poetry. Profile of the Poet as Cook. Oh, and there's recipes in here for like recipes that, Emily Dickinson had, I guess, in her cookbook. I didn't realize she cooked. As far as I knew, she, hung out in her bedroom all day. But stuff happens. I like cookbooks. But there's a recipe in here for gingerbread. Let's see what else they got in here. There was one that I saw in here that I was like, ooh. It's poetry too, so it's not just recipes. Oh, that's it? Just the gingerbread recipe? For real? Graham bread, rye and Indian bread. A lot of bread, I feel. A lot of bread. Wine jelly. Now that sounds like a good time. And then this is A Mighty Room. This is actually just a collection of poems written by other people, but they were all written in Emily Dickinson's bedroom. These next 2, there's actually a little bit of a story behind them. So I saw this at Target, One Dark Throne. And first of all, I love the outside. It just looks so interesting. Secondly, the feel of this book, it's obviously hardback, but the jacket is so smooth. It's almost like leather. And then, I don't know if you can see, but the pages, can you see how like distorted and almost aged the pages are along the edges? They're not straight cut. They're like, it's almost like they've been through, they've been through some shit. So I went ahead and bought this book just for that, not realizing that this is actually the second book in a series. And then I couldn't find it at Target. I was so infuriated. But then my husband, in his infinite wisdom, got me the first book, Three Dark Crowns. I think he got it at Barnes & Noble's. Why I didn't think to look at Barnes & Noble's, I don't know. Anyway, so this is going to be the next series. Whoop! The next series that I start. I have no idea what it's about, by the way. I just thought this was super cool looking, and then realized that this was this book 2 in, you know, a 2-book series. So, at least I think it's only 2 books. And these are by Kendar Blake. Last but not least, the Pièce de Résistance. I also got this for Christmas from my husband. Again, he is a genius. He knows what I like. He got me Hamilton, The Evolution. So Hamilton, The Revolution is written by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Jeremy McCarter. And this is basically a behind the scenes from beginning to end how he wrote Hamilton. Yeah? Yeah. It also comes with a couple of photos and some posters that I am absolutely going to be framing and putting up in my house because, you know, I don't care. But it's also got, look at the pages, it's also got that old school look to it, probably because it's about Alexander Hamilton. But I mean, and even the way the table of contents is, like, look at that. It's very much dated. It's very much, you know, prevalent to the time period, you know, that it's written about. But it's the complete libretto of the musical itself. So, I mean, it starts, it's a true account of its creation. So it starts back in, I think, 2006 is when Lin-Manuel Miranda first started writing Hamilton. It took him 10 years to write Hamilton. Just saying. Masterpiece. Anyway, so it starts off in 2006, and he literally just goes through everything, his entire process in creating the masterpiece that we all know as Hamilton. I'm going to see this in March. I'm so excited. But I'm really, really pumped to start reading this. I'm probably not going to get to it for a while just because it's, I mean, the font is relatively small. I don't want to crack it. Look at that. The font's relatively small, and it's not a little book by any stretch of the means, so it's probably going to take me a while, and I really want to take my time with it. So I'm probably not going to get to read this for a while, unfortunately. But I am going to be reading this. I'm going to be reading the shit out of it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But anyway, and then it comes with... It came with, I already opened it once to check out what was inside, and I don't really want to open it again until I'm never going to open it again, which is after I get everything framed. But anyway, so it comes with Alexander Hamilton's last letter to Eliza. It was found after he died, and oh God, it's such a beautiful letter. It's not a long letter at all, but it's such a beautiful letter. And there's actually a point at the bottom of the letter where he says, best of wives, best of women. That's how he referred to her. And there is a lyric in, I think that's the name of the song, Best of Wives, Best of Women. It's not a long song at all, but there's a lyric in the show, in the Broadway musical, where he refers to her as best of wives, best of women. And I just thought that was incredible. I mean, it's crazy how you can, you look at some of these letters from Alexander Hamilton, you look at some of them from Thomas Jefferson, and you can see where some of the lyrics were pulled from, and they were done in such a smart way, Anyway, I am super excited to A, read all of these books, B, do reviews on all of them, because I feel like I am going to do reviews on all of them. They all seem really, really interesting, especially the Alexander Hamilton one, and this one, the book of poetry written in Emily Dickinson's bedroom. I probably won't do a review on the cookbook. And that's all I got for you today, kids. That is my current to-be-read pile. Again, currently I am reading The Keeper's Vow by Francina Simone, and I am reading Devil in the White City. I don't remember who wrote that. Eric Larson. Yeah, buddy. Please let me know if you've read any of these books. What'd you think of them? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to follow me on social media if you are not already. I am on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. All the links will be down below. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that little subscribe. There's a button down there. Subscribe. You can hit that. And then, just ding that bell. That way you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post every Wednesday and Friday. Have an amazing day, guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.